Do you ever think about climate change and where you're going to move to because of climate change? You want to be prepared? Well, this episode, we're going to talk about climate change and retirement. Where should you settle for the future? It's a good question. So welcome back to another fabulous episode of the Where Do Gays Retire podcast. I'm your host, Mark Goldstein, retired, thriving, and always on the hunt for the perfect place to call home in our golden years. Today, we're diving into a topic that's hotter than Palm Springs and Phoenix in July. And no, it's not about how to pick out the perfect poolside caftan. We're talking about climate change and how it's going to impact where we're going to settle down for retirement. Yes, folks, climate change is real. It's like that friend who says, I'll only stay for one drink. And then 4 cocktails later, they're still at your house playing with your dog. You know that they're not going anywhere, so you better get comfortable. Well, the same goes for climate change. It's sticking around. So today we're exploring cities that are ready for it and the ones that are affordable without turning into a sauna. And of course, the places with a decent HRC, Human Rights Campaign, Municipal Equality Index score, because no one's retiring to a city that doesn't love the gays. Gotta love the gays. So let's get started. All right, let's talk about proactive cities tackling climate change. Let's kick things off by talking about the cities that are ahead of the curve when it comes to climate change. You know, those cities that are like, honey, we've got this handled, while the rest of us are still deciding which SPF we should buy. We've got 10 U.S. cities that are leading the charge on climate change mitigation. And of course, every one of those fabulous places scores on the HRC Municipal Equality Index pretty decently because we only retire where we're loved. So, of course, number one, now, I'm not saying these places are cheap. I'm just saying climate change, and I'm not including natural disasters, okay? So, first one on the list, it's San Francisco. Obviously, San Francisco had to make the list. They're big on sustainability, and even though the cost of living is yikes, the city's working to get carbon neutral by 2045. Also, they have a whole fleet of electric buses. I mean, how chic is that? An electric bus? Well, there's a lot around the States. Number 2 on the list is Portland, Oregon. Portland, you know, a city that loves composting as much as they do drag brunches is going to be eco-conscious. The whole city runs on renewable energy, well, almost, and they've got ambitious goals to be carbon-free by 2050. Plus, you can grow a killer garden here with all the rain. It rains a lot. All right, that's a bonus. Number 3 is Seattle. Seattle, Washington. Our friends in Seattle are on it too. Doesn't it seem like the rainy places are on this? They've committed to reducing their carbon footprint big time with tons of green spaces and eco-friendly public transport. Sure, it rains a lot, but your lawn will be fabulous. And think of all of the coffee. I love the coffee there. Perfect retirement, really. Yeah, Seattle has great coffee. Number 4 on the list is Boston, Mass. Boston is not only tackling climate change, they're also preparing for rising sea levels like a seasoned swimmer prepping for a marathon. It's a little pricey, but if you want cobblestone streets, charm, and an action plan for the future, Boston's your gal. Boston, yeah, it's got its stuff together. It's a little chilly for me, though. So I'm just saying. Next one on the list, number 5, is Austin, Texas. Austin is awesome. Might be a bit red. Texas might be a bit red, that is. But Austin is as green as they come. They're working on big climate change plans. And let's be honest, who can resist their music festivals and amazing food trucks? Plus, they love the gays. And when we love them right back. So Austin is awesome. Number 6 on the list is Chicago, Illinois. Chicago's the windy city, so Chicago's wind isn't just a metaphor for their politics. They're also going all in on wind power. Plus, if you retire here, they'll always have deep dish pizza. And knowing Chicagoans, they'll make sure you've got the clean air to breathe while you eat it. Number 7 on the list is Los Angeles, California. LA's aiming for 100% renewable energy by 2045. Now, that's commitment. The downside, you'll need to be BFFs with a Kardashian to afford housing there. But the city's tackling climate change, which means your future beach days will still exist. That's up there with San Francisco. Not as bad, but number 8, New York. New York. It's where I left because it was a little expensive. But New York City, New York. Okay, I'm a little biased. As I said, I'm originally from New York City. But New York City's Climate Mobilization Act is seriously impressive. They're cleaning up their act faster than a drag queen before a performance, and I'm here for it. Also, walkability, baby. Walkability is key. Love walkability. That's why I'm so spoiled. Next one on the list, number 9, Denver, Colorado. Denver has all the eco policies you can dream of. Did I mention the mountains? You'll have clean air, sort of, breathtaking views, and sip your craft beer. Plus tons of sunshine. Perfect for solar panels. You know what? Denver, although a little pricey, I'm thinking about that now. Clean air, mountains. Not too bad. Number 10 on the list, Minneapolis, Minnesota. They don't call it the land of 10,000 lakes for nothing. Minneapolis is working to protect those lakes and everything else from climate change and the LGBT community. Strong and fabulous. Bundle up, though. It gets freezing cold. All right. So out of those, I think the only, just in my opinion, well, I'm not going to even say my opinion. I'll leave that up to you because I don't want to judge. I'm totally not judging. All right. So part 2 now is going to be affordable cities with no extreme climate risks. Okay? So we'll look at cities that are both affordable, relatively speaking, of course, because everything is different from a different perspective, and relatively safe from climate change. First one on the list is Madison, Wisconsin. Madison isn't just cheese and beer. It's a progressive haven that's doing its part for the environment. Affordable housing? Check. Low climate risk? Check. Charming downtown where you can walk to everything? Double check. Number 2 on the list is Rochester, New York. Yeah, it snows a lot, but you don't need to worry about hurricanes or wildfires. Plus, it's affordable and has a surprisingly robust LGBTQ scene. Plus, you'll get good snow boots and at least your 401k won't freeze. Well, sort of. But anyway, I know I'm off the walls today. Next one, number 3 on the list is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've heard a lot lately about Pittsburgh. It's been on a couple of lists lately as a good retirement place. Known for its resilience, Pittsburgh's working hard to adapt to climate change while staying affordable. It's a city with history, gorgeous rivers, an inclusive LGBTQ scene. Come for the low cost of living and stay for the pierogies. They have pierogies there. And I think it's a city with the most bridges. If I'm not mistaken, they said something like over 400 bridges. Gotta be kidding me. All right. So that's, Pittsburgh might be looking good, especially the downtown area. If you can afford the downtown, we'll have to check into that a little bit more. But again, Pennsylvania, we'll talk about Pennsylvania a little bit. So no state tax on Social Security, no state tax on IRA withdrawals, 401k withdrawals, and pension income, but higher property tax. So that says something too. So be beware of the high property tax. Next on the list is Burlington, Vermont. Brr. Quaint, charming, and eco-friendly. Burlington is like the cute Vermont sweater you didn't know you needed. But it's a bit rural, and the city's all about sustainability. And let's not forget, Bernie Sanders' energy can't be bad for the environment, right? All right, number 5, Columbus, Ohio. Columbus is sneaky cool, super affordable with a growing art scene, and climate risk relatively low. Plus, their commitment to green energy is on the rise. It's one of those underrated gems. Number 6, Eugene. I don't think it's Eugene. It's Eugene, Oregon. It's like Portland, but smaller, cheaper, and still very eco-conscious. Eugene is perfect if all you're thinking about is green life, both the environmental kind and the organic kind. Number 7 on the list is Asheville. Asheville, North Carolina. If you love the outdoors, Asheville is heaven. Mountains, nature, low cost of living, welcoming vibe for the LGBTQ community. Now, I don't know where they got this from, but Asheville just had Hurricane Helene. So being a natural disaster, I guess it's part of the list. But just like San Francisco and parts of California have earthquakes, believe it or not, Asheville has hurricanes. So, there's no heat waves, just you and the Blue Ridge Mountains and plenty of craft breweries. Number 8 on the list is Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids is the up-and-coming retirement spot you didn't see coming. Affordable, low climate risks, and they've got some serious sustainability goals. It's like that unexpected gift at a white elephant party. Let's see, Louisville, Kentucky. Kentucky might not seem like the obvious choice, but Louisville is eco-friendly, LGBTQ-friendly, and easy on the wallet. Plus, who can resist a city known for bourbon? You can drink away your retirement worries. Why not? And number 10 is Buffalo, New York. Affordable, up and coming, and their winters aren't as terrifying as they used to be. For me, they're still terrifying. Buffalo's got great housing prices. You wonder? Low climate risk and a growing LGBTQ community. Just pack a parka. All right. Next up is cities least likely to be affected by climate change. Now let's talk about the places that Mother Nature has decided to be a little kinder to. These cities are least likely to be impacted by climate change, and they still got to have all of those important LGBTQ stuff, vibes, of course. So number 1 is Boise, Idaho. Idaho may not be on everyone's radar, but Boise is booming, low climate risk, affordable, full of outdoor activities. Plus, their LGBTQ scene is growing faster than my retirement anxiety after checking my 401k balance. All right, Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland's not in the climate crosshairs, and it's cheap. Affordable living, Lake Erie views, surprisingly good food. Who knew? Milwaukee, Wisconsin is the beer capital of America and a sneaky good place to retire. Milwaukee's right on Lake Michigan, which keeps it safe from most climate catastrophes. Low risk, low cost, and high on the community spirit. Plus, Wisconsin cheese. Need I say more? I have a little cheese and crackers. Next one on the list is Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay, Salt Lake may feel like an odd pick, but hear me out. It's nestled between mountains, relatively safe from extreme climate changes, is more progressive than you'd think. The LGBTQ community is thriving, and the outdoor activities are to die for. So just stock up on your favorite cocktail ingredients. Liquor laws can be a bit creative. Next one on the list is Spokane, Washington. Spokane is like Seattle's chill little cousin. Affordable, no major climate risks, and just far enough inland to avoid any coastal craziness. The LGBTQ community scene here is small, but mighty. And if you're still close enough to Seattle for a weekend getaway, You can get your big city gay fix there. Reno, Nevada might be known as the biggest little city, but still making big strides in climate preparedness. It's a low cost, low risk gem for retirees who want to avoid floods and financial strain. Plus, who doesn't love a little desert gambling action once in a while? I can do that. Number 7, Fort Collins, Colorado. How interesting. So, Fort Collins. You've got the mountains, the beer, and a solid climate future. Not to mention a growing LGBTQ community. You won't have to worry about hurricanes, rising sea levels, or an overheated housing market either. Although the housing market is pretty high because it's so desirable. Plus, the city is all about sustainability, like the crunchy granola cousin we all secretly love. But no fooling. I was in Fort Collins. It was such a nice city. I'll call it a city, not a town, being the urban fellow that I am. It's a college town. It has everything. It's kind of cool town to be in. Has some nice coffee places, great restaurants, great beer. Although I'm not a beer, aficionado, but again, we're going to check out Fort Collins. Next one on the list is Ann Arbor, Michigan. Ann Arbor is home to the University of Michigan, so that's youthful energies going for it. Low climate risks, an amazing walkable downtown, and a progressive LGBTQ community that's growing faster than you can say, go blue. And let's be real, and that brain power is going to keep that place climate resistant. There you go. Ann Arbor. Who would think? Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines is quietly becoming a cool, low-risk spot for retirees. It's safe from most climate-related catastrophes and super affordable. Don't worry, it's not all cornfields. The LGBTQ community is growing here too. State legalized same-sex marriage way back in 2009, so clearly they're ahead of the curve. Who knew? Des Moines. Santa Fe, New Mexico, number 10. Last but certainly not least, we've got Santa Fe. It's a desert paradise, meaning no hurricanes, no rising seas, no wild weather swings. Plus, it's an artsy haven for the LGBTQ community. The only thing hotter than the desert is the spicy food and vibrant art scene. So, been to Santa Fe. Great town, great food. I loved it. No gay bars, no gayborhood, but everything is very live and let live. So Santa Fe is on the list. All right. So international retirement options, we'll go over just a few. We can't forget these international options. Of course, a lot of people are interested in getting out of the U.S. So here we go. These are some fantastic cities around the globe where you can escape climate chaos, live affordably, and thrive as a proud LGBTQ retiree. Number 1 on the list. I'll let you guess. Give up? Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon is all about charm, culture, and affordability. Portugal's coastal capital isn't the climate danger zone, and the LGBTQ community is embraced with open arms. Plus, healthcare here is fantastic. And don't get me started on the wine. Oh my God, the wine is cheaper than water. She's there in Spain. Number 2, Auckland, New Zealand. It's kind of tough to get into New Zealand, though. You need relatives. Who doesn't want to retire in Middle Earth? Auckland offers a mild climate, stunning landscapes, and one of the most progressive LGBTQ plus communities in the Southern Hemisphere. You'll be far away from rising sea levels and wildfires while sitting back enjoying breathtaking natural beauty. Like to go there too. Number 3, Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona is becoming the go-to place for expat retirees, and Barcelona is no exception. Gorgeous weather, thriving LGBTQ community, world-class healthcare, make it a dream retirement destination. Plus the tapas are life-changing. Oh my God, the tapas in Spain? Next one, number 4, Copenhagen, Denmark, or Copenhagen, whichever way you say it. Copenhagen is climate resistant, incredibly LGBTQ plus friendly, and offers a high quality of life. The only downside, you might need to invest in some chic winterwear. I told you it was cold. Number 5, Melbourne, Australia. Down under has always been a paradise for those looking to escape the worst of climate change. Melbourne is safe, welcoming, and full of vibrant culture. And did I mention the coffee? You'll never want to retire anywhere else. And there you have it, folks. Whether you're looking to retire in a U.S. city that's tackling climate change head on, or an affordable haven with low climate risk, or you're ready to pack your bags and head abroad, we've got you covered. There's just a spot for everyone. Just make sure you choose wisely, because as much as we all love a little drama, no one wants to hear it from Mother Nature. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Where Do Gays Retire podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and tell your friends, especially the friends that are still thinking Palm Springs in July sounds like a good idea. I've done that. Until next time, I'm Mark Goldstein, reminding you to stay cool, stay fabulous, stay climate conscious. And before we even go, if you like this, go on my website, www.wheredogaysretire.com, and buy me a cup of coffee, buy me 2, buy me 5, get me all caffeinated. Each coffee cup costs you $5, and it'll keep this podcast going. Okay, folks, there you go, and have a wonderful rest of your day.